Hello, friends, and welcome back to Crow's Thrifty Finds. My name is Melanie. Today we're going to talk about something a little different than I've done in my other videos. We're going to talk about 10 unusual items that sell well on eBay. So I'm going to go through the list, and my hope is that, maybe you know about a couple of these, but my hope is that you'll learn about at least a few things that you didn't know about. And maybe if you're a new reseller, maybe you don't know about any of these products. So let's go. Number one is yo-yos. Kind of a weird item. And what I've noticed in my sourcing is I've actually found a decent amount of yo-yos recently, and just about all of them have commanded really good prices. It was quite a surprise to me when I first found them. So the brand in particular that I'd want to highlight when it comes to high dollars is this brand called Yo-mega. Definitely a Bolo. Be on the lookout for new or used Yo-mega yo-yos, because as you can see on the screen, they sell for very good money. So Bolos, be on the lookout. Look out for yo-yos. As unusual of an item that they are, there is a market for them out there, and there are collectors and there are people that enjoy playing with yo-yos and doing tricks with yo-yos. Find yo-yos. It should hopefully work out well for you. Item number two. Let's talk about feathers. And there's many different kinds of feathers, as I'm sure you all know. But the feathers I'm going to talk about today are parrot feathers. I happen to be a parrot owner myself. I don't know if you've ever heard bird noises in the background of my videos. Sometimes it's hard to edit them out. Caesar is an African gray parrot, and he's awesome. And I learned that I can sell his feathers that he molts naturally on eBay. And parrot feathers in general are excellent sellers. It's just kind of a rare pet that not everybody has. So if you have a parrot or have access to parrots, don't throw those feathers away. You need to sell them. You can see these huge prices depending on what kind of bird you have. If you have a macaw, these are very large feathers. You can sell just one macaw feather for $25, as you can see. My African Gray's feathers, they tend to sell for about $4.50 each, so I save them up, and I sell them usually twice a year, and my parents actually have an African Gray parrot as well, so they'll mail me his tail feathers that he's molted, and I sell those. So definitely an unusual thing, but there is a market for them. I've sold to a variety of different locations. Sometimes florists buy them, sometimes crafters buy them. It's a variety of people. So yeah, if you find feathers, you can definitely make some money off of parrot feathers for sure. Item number three is human hair. Ladies and gentlemen that have long hair that plan on cutting it, you can actually sell your ponytail and make money off of it. You can see $60 and over a lot of these are going for. So there is a market for hair. I don't know if people are making wigs with them or exactly what they're doing, but if you've got long hair, it seems to be that, the more exotic colors like red and blonde, are really good sellers. But I think no matter what, you can sell your hair. So when you get that big haircut and the hairdresser cuts off the ponytail first, ask to take it home with you. Maybe you'll feel a little weird, but you won't once you sell it and make some good money. Next item are Jello jiggler egg molds. So random, right? I actually found some of these not too long ago at a church rummage sale, and I had this little memory in the back of my head that said, pick those up. I think those are worth money. And these ones were new, so the new ones, of course, carry even more value. But as you can see, they sell decently. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I believe that people are using these for Jello shots. These sell all year long, not just at Easter. There is another purpose for them. And my college years are well behind me, so I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with them, but my guess is Jello shots. That's probably what they're for. So help out your local college students and sell your Jello jiggler egg molds if you happen to find any, because they command a decent resale value, and there's something you can usually pick up for really cheap. I'm pretty sure I got mine for $1. So yeah, pick those up. They're weird, but people put them to good use. So next item we're going to talk about is vintage dash discontinued beauty products. People use these for a lot of different reasons. There's a nostalgia piece to having that discontinued toothpaste that your grandma used, but also I've heard that television studios often use these for props. So, nobody's necessarily going to use that old bar of soap, but if you can find one, it can be seen in the background, possibly of a TV show or for a play or something. There's a lot of need for that. There's a lot of shows going on right now that take place in the past, so they need that kind of stuff. And also, discontinued beauty products are helpful to pick up because, somebody might like a certain shade of eyeshadow that's no longer made, or blush or lipstick or whatever have you that the beauty product is, and they will pay top dollar to get it because that's their color and they got to have it. So I picked a random, not even expensive makeup company. I picked Revlon just as an example to show you all that it doesn't need to be a, fancy brand of makeup, like MAC or Chanel or anything like that. It can just be your run-of-the-mill Walmart brands that you can find that are discontinued. Maybe you catch them on clearance and then the store still had some, or maybe you just find them in a thrift store somewhere. So it's a good item to look up if you see some dated looking beauty products, because you just never know. They could be very, very valuable because some of this stuff is getting harder and harder to find by the day, and people will pay top dollar to get their stuff. I know my brand of makeup that I use, if it ever becomes discontinued, I'll be one of those people that's searching on eBay for it because I have my one brand and I have to have it, and it's been around for a long time, and I'm terrified that one of these days they're just going to stop making it. So yes, the moral of the story is you want to find vintage and discontinued beauty products. People use them for a lot of different purposes, and you can make some really good money on them. Item number 6, old vintage camper lights. I've talked about blow molds before. This is another type of blow mold that people might overlook because it's not the freestanding blow molds that people traditionally think and want to pick up, but these are fun and vintage from the 90s and older. The ones I'm showing up on the screen were ones that I actually sold, those ones that sold for $1.89. I picked those up. Those strands of cat lights were $5 each at a garage sale, and you can see I made really good profit on them selling them for $189.99. So if you see blow mold lights like that out in the wild, you want to pick those up. Don't overlook them just because they're lights and not, the bigger blow molds. Blow molds of any kind sell, so definitely don't miss out on lights if you happen to see any cute old camper lights like that. Brings back good memories of going camping, and we were big campers in my family, and we had a string of, they were owl lights though, but yeah, it just takes me back. So it apparently takes others back too, and people want to buy these and use them to this day. Next is something I see a lot, especially at estate sales. I see old briefcases, and for a while I overlooked them, and I did not think that there would be value there. I've tried to sell smaller old suitcases in the past, and they're not, from my experience, they haven't been incredibly valuable. Maybe I just haven't found good ones, but the ones I've seen when I've looked them up were not worth picking up. But I took a chance and looked up briefcases, and it turns out old briefcases are actually really good pickups. And I got a lot of attention and messages before I sold the one that I picked up for $1. And I ended up selling mine for $35, but you can see they sell for even higher. If you're fortunate enough to have a key for one that locks with a key, those command even higher dollars. So, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to have it. You can still get $25, $30 even if you don't have the key. But yeah, these vintage Samsonite briefcases are wanted. Mine went overseas, and it seemed to be that the messages that I was getting were from folks overseas. So this might be a popular buy in other countries, even if we don't use them so much here. Doesn't mean people in another country aren't using them all the time. So worth picking up old briefcases. Next item is regional food. So there's certain types of food that your region may have that others do not. I know when I go to Massachusetts, there's certain brands that I get when I'm there, and I stock up and I take them home with me because I can't find them here in North Dakota. And there's probably items here in North Dakota that we make that other people can't get elsewhere. So I would like to challenge you all to figure out what your region sells that's, a brand that isn't available elsewhere that people might move out of the area and still want. Amazon sells food a lot. I know I've purchased New England brands on Amazon, but there's no reason why you can't sell them on eBay and make a little money that way too. So that's more of a challenge for you all to kind of think about, what does my area sell that other areas don't have? And I would challenge you to try to list some of those items and, look for some comps, see if others have done it before you to get a perspective on if it's worth it. But it's something worth looking into that maybe people don't think about all the time. But I'm always looking for these certain brands that I know I can't get here. So might be worth listing them. Some people don't like Amazon and they just want to buy stuff on eBay. So I wouldn't feel limited just because they sell it on Amazon if you don't sell on Amazon. Of course, some of you on here probably do have Amazon seller accounts as well. So maybe you can sell them there too. So number 9 is kind of still along the food line, but it's more around drinks. Old soda cans. They don't need to have the soda in them. Just fine to have that hole poked in and it was drained. And the more rare the soda was, the better. For those of you that are around in the 90s, I loved OK Soda, and they had a variety of different kinds of fun cans. And those cans are worth money to this day. The more exotic the can is, the more money that they're worth. You can see there's some OK Soda cans that are selling empty for $25. It's not that people necessarily want to drink soda that's from the 90s, but they want to have those cans to display somewhere, to have that piece of nostalgia. Also, mixed in with these OK Soda cans, you can see that 7-Up Gold's sold on auction for $86 with a lot of bids. So if you see an empty 7-Up Gold can, you definitely want to pick that up because that clearly is something rare that sells for good money. I didn't even know about that till I pulled up these comps on the OK Soda just now. So there's always something to learn for reselling. And that's part of why I really love reselling is I just love to constantly be learning about new things that I can make money on. And, sometimes you're looking up one item and you find another that's valuable that you didn't know about. So this is a great example of that. And last but not least, item number 10, vintage employee shirts. Like McDonald's, old school McDonald's employee shirts, they sell for money. And even sometimes newer ones too, depending on the theme of what's on the shirt. Sometimes they did promos, for a certain movie or whatnot. You could make some money off of even newer shirts too. But look at what these old ones are selling for. They're selling great. There's other companies too that I've seen that have sold really well for, as far as, vintage employee shirts go. Like Blockbuster is trendy at the moment. I've seen, vintage employee Blockbuster shirts selling really well. 7-Eleven shirts. These kind of things are something you may not think about, but you could find at your local Goodwill or somebody selling them on Marketplace or wherever. Maybe you still have them from when you had a job at McDonald's, your first job. Maybe it's still there. I know I've got an old Chuck E. Cheese employee shirt laying around somewhere. I don't know if you all know, but Chuck E. Cheese stuff in general, is really hot right now. So you want to keep an eye out for Chuck E. Cheese stuff. Just on a side note, just look up sold listings for Chuck E. Cheese and you'll see what I mean. It's crazy. So there you have it. There's your 10 items. I hope this was informal, and I hope at least I showed you a few different things that you didn't know about. I'd love if you left a comment saying, hey, it was great, I didn't know about this item. That's good for me to know. But yeah, don't forget to like the video in general if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, then you don't have to like it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. This is a newish channel, so I'm still building an audience. I'd love to get as many subscribers as possible. I will be posting videos every week. And again, my name is Melanie. This is Crow's Thrifty Finds, and I'll see you next week.